Well, in short, it's terrifying. For like the one person watching this that doesn't know, I'm transgender. I came out like almost 8 years ago at this point, which is a bit mad to be honest with you. I started testosterone about 5 years ago, which is also a bit mad, and I got my top surgery just over 2 years ago. I'm pretty happy. That's all the surgeries that I kind of want. There's lots more out there for trans people. Loads of things that people do nowadays, which is amazing. I'm just not personally interested in any of them for me at this moment in time. I consider myself fully transitioned, living full time as me, a guy, Zach, that's me. And I've been very happy with that over the course of the 8 years. Transitioning, without a doubt, saved my life. Not to get too heavy, but I was a chronic self-harmer and had reoccurring suicidal thoughts, and all of this continued to lessen the deeper and deeper that I got into my transition. I'm now at the point in my life where I've got a great group of friends at uni, I've got a great relationship, I'm studying psychology at uni, I'm starting a new job at the end of this month, like, life's great. I can just be like everybody else now, which I didn't feel able to do being, you know, not like this. None of this would have happened if I didn't transition. I'd like to continue living my life in peace, really, but unfortunately, the British government just won't allow me. On the 16th of April 2025, the Supreme Court ruled that the definition of the word woman in the 2010 Equality Act refers to biological sex only. So this means that transgender women are no longer covered under this act. In the 88-page judgment, judges say that the concept of sex is binary, which is just entirely false, to be honest with you. The British Medical Association have since condemned this ruling, saying that it is scientifically inept. An article from Pink News states, the union urged the Supreme Court to acknowledge the existence of intersex people and condemned the scientifically illiterate rulings from the Supreme Court, made without consultation with relevant experts and stakeholders, that will cause real-world harm to the trans, non-binary and intersex communities in this country. The article then goes on to say that Helen Belcher, who is the chairperson of LGBTQ plus not-for-profit group Transactual, was devastated by the outcome of the court case. Belcher said, the Supreme Court chose not to hear from any trans people, preferring instead to listen to exclusionary groups. Instead of bringing clarity, the Supreme Court has made a ruling which appears to contain a number of contradictions. The legislation has actually been backed by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who in February of last year invited Brianna Ghey's mother into Parliament to highlight the abuse and consequential murder that her daughter experienced, all for being transgender. What a spineless twat. Parades are around Parliament to score points with the left, and then he gets in somehow. I didn't fucking vote for him, but he gets in somehow and then throws every single trans person under the bus. I don't know how he can sleep at night, to be honest with you. At least right-wing politicians stand for something. What they stand for is so ridiculously different from what I stand for as a human being. But at least they've got something that makes them tick. Keir Starmer is unlike anything that I've ever seen in my entire life. He's got no morals at all. So how does this ruling actually affect trans people? The British Transport Police have since issued a statement saying that any woman suspected of being transgender who was being held in custody will be strip searched by a male officer. To all the women that support this, absolute bollocks. If you cannot prove that you are not transgender and they suspect that you are, there is nothing to stop a man from strip searching you. Is that really protecting women? Transgender people have also been told to use the toilet that matches their sex assigned at birth, meaning that trans men have to use the women's bathroom and trans women have to use the men's bathroom. I am supposed to use the women's bathroom. Whilst this isn't technically law Yet, they were still checking IDs at Edinburgh Waverley Mall before you went into the toilets. I mean, how dystopian is that? And what a waste of everybody's time. If I'm bursting on a piss, I'm sorry, I'm barging past you. You don't need to see my licence. My licence says male on it anyway. Who is this protecting? I ask again. Women? I doubt that very much. I'm a trans man, so I have to use the women's toilet. I'm willing to put money on the fact that all the women in there would be uncomfortable with me in there. Because when I was still figuring shit out and I hadn't come out as trans and I was still going into women's toilets when I was younger, women were uncomfortable with me then. And I looked like this. And what is stopping a biological male from just saying that he's a trans man in order to get access to the women's toilets? This dude could just walk straight in and go, "It's okay, I'm a trans guy." And you can't do anything about it because that's the messy situation that these cunts have created. This isn't protecting women. It's all to create division. If we're all fighting each other, then we can't fight the real oppressor. I don't know about you, but when I go into a public bathroom, it's to have a piss and nothing more. Unless I've had a curry. But my job isn't to convert you. I'm really not interested in that. If you're transphobic and find it impossible to have empathy for this tiny portion of the population who do not bother you, then I really don't know what to tell you other than the revolution will not spare you. I hate the liberal feeling that we all just need to have open and honest conversations with each other and come to some sort of mutual understanding. It's like telling a Holocaust victim that they should have had a word with a Nazi officer who just killed their entire family. That would have sorted things out. I'm sorry, but this is the real world. And in this world, people want me dead. I'm not interested in having a conversation with people who have never experienced empathy in their lives. I've got no common ground with them, and I'm glad. I don't want to convert someone who used to want me dead, but they've kind of changed now. I do not want you on my side. Oh, but if you try to change their minds and then we could create a better world, shut the fuck up. You cannot change the minds of these people, and I'm not going to waste my time trying. These aren't people who are like a little bit ignorant or maybe a little bit older and just need a little bit of coaxing out of their shell. These are fascists who actually want to kill a group of people, you know? Okay, you're not gunning me down in the street, but you are cutting off all of my resources, which is the first step in fascism. I'm not interested in coming to some sort of common understanding with these people or negotiating with them. They want me dead, and it's really as simple as that. If you're like me, empathetic and, have an ounce of humanity about you, this legislation has left me with such a deep sadness and a really, really deep sense of hopelessness. I'm honestly not 100% sure what we should all do. There's a number of protests happening at the moment all over the country, and I would highly encourage you all to get involved with things like that if you can. But it really just doesn't feel like enough, does it? It feels like transgender people are just always going to be in danger. Like, I know that I'm going to be okay. I'm fortunate enough that I've completed my transition and I've changed my name, and I think I passed reasonably well, which is a privilege. It is a privilege, and it hasn't always been that way. I've only managed to get here through using the resources that were available to me, which are now unfortunately quite depleted. I haven't gotten my gender recognition certificate yet, so if I was to get married tomorrow, I'd technically, well, legally be classified as a wife, but, that isn't exactly on the cards right now, so, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But I can't watch the next generation of trans people have it even harder than I did. That's not the goal. We're supposed to be improving society and making things easier for the next generation, but they have it tougher than I did, and I had it pretty damn tough. And I can't watch specifically trans women, who always seem to be the target of these things, continue to be targeted for nothing more than existing. This is my community, and even though I probably won't be questioned when I walk into a men's toilet, men don't even fucking look up. Other people in my community will be questioned and are already being questioned. There's resources down in the description for transgender people. Community is so important in times like this. It's how we survived in the past, and I believe it's how we will continue to survive in the future. If you learned something from this video, then I am glad. And if you're a trans person and you felt validated by this video in some way, then I'm also glad. And if you're one of the fuckers who supports this shit, do us a favour and shuffle off the planet, you coffin dodging old bastards.